Hi folks, I'm here tucked down behind a roadblock by Metrocentro in Managua, where just behind me, up where you see that Flor de Caña sign, tens of thousands are still gathered. Tens of thousands are still gathered at what was a peaceful march. Backing up now, trying to figure out what's going on. Being given the calm down sign, but shots have been fired. I repeat, shots have been fired, apparently by police. And we're not sure exactly where. I'm not sure exactly where they are. We have already had multiple wounded taken out that I have witnessed, suffering from what looked like gunshot wounds. I'm not quite sure where to go right now, which would be safer without entirely leaving the area. But the protesters don't seem to be backing down much. Again, we are live in Managua with news to share. Ben Holmes reporting during protests that up until now, all day, tens of thousands or more had been gathered, marching peacefully, and it would appear now they are under attack by the police. Some of the protesters who were carrying fireworks launchers that they were launching throughout the march are now apparently using those to defend the crowd against the police. I see a group up there under a tree. That seems to be the most far forward group of protesters, right up there under that tree, trying to use the telephoto lens to try to get better close-up shots. But unfortunately I can't zoom on Facebook Live, so I apologize for that. It's just not a feature. I'm gonna get down here. Got my press pass out, so there's no doubt there. I am credentialed if anything were to happen. I'm honestly very surprised by this. I had mentioned in an earlier video that I would find it hard to believe that the police would take on this crowd as large as it is. But it seems I may have been wrong. Every couple minutes something spooks the crowd and a few people run away. But I'm still not quite sure what we're witnessing here.
Aquí no está comparado como está allá al otro lado.
Estoy en vivo con el otro lado.
¿Al otro lado?
Sí, con Estados Unidos.
Han matado a 3 allá al otro lado.
¿Cómo?
Han matado a 3 allá al otro lado.
Sí.
Le metieron a uno, le sacaron el cerebro.
Child next to me is telling me that on the other side of this, I imagine through the trees over that way, there may have been three wounded or possibly killed. Yeah, so I've got somebody else here, Juan Carlos, chiming in saying there's 2 dead already. So I'm not really sure what to make of this. It seems like a really bad move by the government to move in on a crowd this large. I'm going to try actually going to ask a couple people to see where they think the conflict is taking place. Entonces, el enfrentamiento está ahí en la uni, no aquí.
Sí, aquí no, prácticamente aquí no hay nada, pues, pero allá al otro lado, donde está.
Lo que pasa es que ese es el Estadio Nacional, el nuevo Estadio Nacional de Béisbol. Entonces ellos lo tienen como trinchera para estar franqueando a la gente. Ellos están ahí, los francotiradores. Lo tienen como trinchera para estar franqueando a la gente, por eso es que la gente no puede avanzar y ellos lo están reteniendo ahí.
So he's telling me the building that's through the trees there is a baseball stadium. And I did personally witness police forming up there a little bit earlier. He's telling me that they seem to have formed up for the purpose of possibly sharpshooting and sniping people to be able to cover these fields here, which would make tactical sense. I'm not going to move much closer than this, but at this time it does appear that that there may be multiple dead, multiple wounded. I witnessed one wounded being carried out on a motorcycle earlier that appeared to have a gunshot wound. There's that baseball stadium they were mentioning. Just at this moment, it seems relatively calm. And I'm trying to see with my telephoto lens on my camera if I can see anything farther down. But I'm not really able to make much out. But this is live. We are in Managua, Nicaragua, where police have opened fire on demonstrators during the Madres de Abril March, which was to commemorate both Mother's Day and the mothers who have lost sons and daughters during the unrest here since the 18th of April. Gracias. ¿Cómo? Estados Unidos.
América.
Sí, estamos en vivo ahorita. ¿Qué? Sí, es muy grande.
Hay que bajar al presidente de Nicaragua al suelo. Ese hijo de puta está haciendo demasiado daño a Nicaragua.
Gracias, señor. He says we need to get the son of a you know what Ortega out of office. That he's killing Nicaragua. Esto no es de... ¿Este hoyo? Esto es muy grande para una AK.
Pero no está. Pero es que eso es lona. Eso es lo que hizo, como está tensada, reventarla.
Okay.
Sí.
Puede ser. They're telling me they think that hole up there may be from an AK-47, although being a bit of a gun guy myself, I'm finding it a little hard to believe, unless it was a quick burst of rounds. But what is not in doubt here is that the police have opened fire. I personally heard gunshots earlier. I'd like to point out, for some that have watched my previous videos, I don't see anyone here that is armed. I see some fireworks, I see rocks in hands, but I don't see a single gun amongst these protesters. So the frequent comments that I've heard of accusations that the protesters themselves are armed doesn't seem to pan out. Each time I come to these protests, I've yet to see a firearm in the hands of the protesters.
News?
Sí.
Okay.
Independiente.
Independiente?
Americano.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. So what I may try to do, I may attempt to circle around to where other conflict is going on. I'm being tapped over here real quick.
Están atacando 100% noticias.
¿En dónde?
Loma de Ticapa.
¿Cómo se puede llegar? Supuestamente por acá, ¿verdad? O sea, no puedo...
No, acá está el fuego cruzado.
Sí.
Tiene que bordear.
Pero también está atacando
Pero si
la
pueden
uni, ¿verdad?
informarlo, sí, la Universidad Nacional de Ingeniería y el único medio que está del lado del pueblo, 100% noticias, lo están atacando. En vivo, está en Facebook.
And we're getting word that...
Do you understand everything?
Sí. And I'm getting word here that 100% Noticias, which is one of the media outlets here in Nicaragua, is under attack, and they're streaming live from just nearby. I'm going to try to figure out if I can get to that general area. If not, if I can't figure out a good plan for that, I'm going to stay here and bear witness for these guys in case the government were to come back and attack this position again. Again, for those just tuning in, this is Ben Holmes with News to Share. I'm at a roadblock that protesters have constructed here just south of the Madres de Abril march, which was a very peaceful march with tens of thousands of people that's been going on since the afternoon. It's just up at the top of that hill, though actually I'm going to sneak up there for just a moment to see if that march has cleared out in light of the attacks. Or if people are still holding out in spite of the police. Well, Dieter, the Nicaraguan people are actually armed. Guns are legal in Nicaragua, and many people do have guns. However, I've not seen anyone at the protests with their guns. When I asked some protesters about that the other day, the answer was they don't want that kind of fight. They don't want a civil war. They want it to be a peaceful, democratic uprising. So they have chosen not to arm themselves. But many have also mentioned that many of them do have guns. And if things were to worsen to get to that point, the country, the opposition, is certainly prepared for that. So it's not a question of the Nicaraguan people not having guns. Right up above me here is one of the main flag poles in the city, right here by Metrocentro, where an activist climbed up earlier and brought the flag to half-mast, presumably with respect to the possibly as many 90 dead since these protests began in April. On a personal note, it seems that these reports are getting quite a bit of viewership in Nicaragua, because I've had multiple people come up to me and say they recognize my press pass. So, thank you for watching. Gracias por estar viéndonos. Estamos aquí para que el pueblo del mundo puede ver los hechos de aquí de Nicaragua. So there still seems to be a pretty significant group of people that have decided to stay in the rotunda. They have not fled since the attack began. I'm seeing a number of emergency vehicles down the road. This is actually, if you watched my video from the other day, you may recognize this was the scene of where I was shot at just 2 days ago, where the police opened fire on protesters. This is in fact the same rotunda. And that's the gas station right there that I had to run from just 2 days ago. So this point in the city, which is just under the watchful eye of the Intercontinental Hotel over there, as well as the Hilton Hotel nearby, where presumably many international media would be staying, is where these protests are taking place, and where these conflicts and these shootouts, or rather attacks, would be perhaps better worded, have taken place. It looks like most of the people that were here earlier have cleared out. Again, earlier, the line of people stretched down the main avenues of the city for at least a kilometer. There were tens of thousands or more I'm seeing some people running now. Still not able to see anything clear through the telephoto lens. From a strictly logical point of view, I'm honestly really confused. I thought for sure that that the government would not try to attack such a large crowd, that they would let them have this. But it seems that that is not the case. They have decided to attack. I'm moving in closer to what seems like another group of people. I know that right up here there's a corner that goes right that leads up to the UNI, the National Engineering University. I'm seeing a number of first aid and emergency response personnel. I see Red Cross medics backing in, presumably ready to carry the wounded out. And I'm seeing a number of people leaving. And those of you who know me, yes, I am identifying exits, hiding spots, etc. as I walk here, should it become necessary to run like I did the other day. Although one activist who spoke very good English earlier told me with the press pass out, I should be okay. I don't see any outs on this side of the street, so I'm going to get over here where there's a wall that I might be able to hide behind. Maybe that's not the right place to go. I'm going to get out of the area where people are throwing rocks from. And I'm going to pull back, see if I can get to a side street that I might be able to run up if I need to get out of here. Apologies, folks, just trying to get my cable here a little bit better adjusted. Michael, you're more than welcome to come down and check it out, and you can get closer. But this is about as close as I'm willing to get as foreign press. But you're more than welcome to give it a shot, so to speak. I haven't heard anything that sounds like gunshots for a little bit. Although I will also admit, for the sake of objectivity, that I did see one person who I think may have had a pistol earlier. I didn't see it clear enough to really be sure, but it looked like it might have been. But that would, if that were true, that would mark the first time I've seen a firearm amongst the protesters. Still not quite sure what they're throwing rocks at there. There's a building in front of them. So for those of you joining, I'm right by the rotunda by Metrocentro, one of the largest shopping malls in Nicaragua, where police have opened fire on demonstrators, and demonstrators are responding with fireworks and stones. The demonstrators being opposed to the government of the president Daniel Ortega of Nicaragua.
Ya no queremos a Daniel Ortega, necesitamos ayuda, ayuda a Nicaragua. Nos están
She's saying that Nicaragua needs help, that they need help, that they need him out of office, that he's killing the people, that he's killing the old people and the children and the young people, that we need help. That's what she's saying, that they need help. I'm seeing what appears to be a car on fire.
Mira, Daniel Ortega, ¿por qué haces esto a tu pueblo? Si este es tu pueblo, ¿por qué le haces esto, Daniel?
Why are you doing this, Daniel? Why are you doing this to your people? Why are you sending the police? We voted for you, but now the same people are going to take you out of power. Why are you killing the children and the young people? That you're terrible for the country, and I can't believe I ever helped you. You're a coward. You have... You don't believe in God. That we are human beings. You can't do this to human beings. They're going to get the blank out of here. That they're going to get him out of office, that they're going to pull him out. That we're marching peacefully. And that they're trying to destabilize us, to destabilize the country. And that they're going to drag him out of office. That we don't want him anymore. He's a son of a blank. ¿Qué? ¿Cómo?
Mataron a un chotel, mataron a un chaval.
They've killed people here.
Aquí tenemos videos donde ahorita mataron a un chavalito, una bala en la cabeza. Ahorita
we have video of a young child being killed.
¿Qué es lo que te pasa?
What's wrong with you?
Pon a tus hijos en el lugar de ellos, a ver qué vas a sentir, muy huevón y hueputa.
La ONU tiene toda la responsabilidad, por eso se le dio el encargo de todas las Naciones Unidas.
So we need all the countries of the world. We need the United Nations to give pressure to get this son of a you know what out of office.
No se mete porque un estado corrupto. Andan los francotiradores de civiles para matar a la gente. Como han matado a 5 personas ahorita.
That they've killed people here.
Y que venga la ONU y lo saque, ese hueputa.
That the UN should come here and get him out of office.
Aquí está un video donde te vamos a mostrar, donde vos mandaste a
te lo vamos a pasar.
They're showing me video where somebody was shot earlier. También tengo fotos de alguien que fue tirado allá, que le agarraron por moto. I was telling them that I also have some stills from earlier where I watched them evacuating somebody who had been shot on a motorcycle. Or they were evacuating him on a motorcycle. He'd been shot. I'm not sure where. Seems that the crowd is still holding here. For those tuning in, I see that we've had a spike in viewers. I am in Managua, Nicaragua. I am by Metrocentro in Nicaragua, in Managua, near the large shopping mall, the Intercontinental Hotel, and the Hilton Hotel, and I'm reporting live where police have opened fire on demonstrators that were part of the Madres de Abril, the Mothers of April March, to ostensibly to honor the mothers who have lost their children during these protests, which began April 18th of this year. I am filming live right now, trying to cover what exactly this may turn into here, whether these attacks will get worse or not. At the moment, I'm seeing it looks like some Molotovs being thrown and fireworks being thrown in the building. Though I have not seen any police in the immediate vicinity, though they were firing on protesters earlier. I'm not sure whether this is a retributive act or whether there are police on the other side of that building. I'm also seeing that there's a vehicle on fire over in the parking lot of that building.
We'll provide you with additional information if you need anything.
Hey, bórrelo, bórrelo.
Es en vivo.
Sí, pero andan mucho que no andan tapados. Prohibido, hermano.
Like he's saying that, you know, delete it because there's people without their face being covered, so they're concerned that, you know.
También estoy tratando de que sea testigo por si acaso disparan y pegan a alguien.
Entonces, cuando esté la actividad que estén disparando, usted grabe. Ahorita no.
Okay. All right. I'm being asked to not film. I'm going to keep filming. I'm just going to point the camera towards the ground for now. Not trying to get on the wrong side of the crowd here, but I'm going to try to move back to the other location where I had been. It does look, however, like there's quite a fire going on over at that building. I'm going to see if perhaps the police have moved in again where I was previously. I'm going to have to check back at some point to try to figure out what exactly that building is that they seem interested in setting on fire. At this point, I'm not really sure, but it is certainly in the direction that the police had been shooting from earlier. I'm just coming back now to the gas station where, again, just a couple days ago I had reported during violent confrontations that resulted in multiple wounded. Still only hearing fireworks at this point. It's been a while since I've heard any gunshots. Though there were gunshots earlier and there were a couple wounded. Es internacional. So I'm going to try to go back down to the spot over this way where I was earlier by the roadblock and see if anything has changed over there. And if they need any more coverage there. I'm seeing emergency services headed this way as well. Seeing some actual fireworks down here.
Oye, la mochila, vivo, la mochila. Está abierta. ¿Dónde están?
I'm back down near where I was earlier, where gunshots rang out, though I haven't heard the crack of gunfire for at least a half an hour now. I'm not sure what that means. Still not seeing any signs of the police at the moment. Though I did see the police formed up in a line down at the bottom of this hill. That was a little while ago. Denise, again, as I've been correcting a number of people that have chimed in with that, Nicaragua is a nation where it is legal to own firearms. Many people have firearms, especially AK-47s are pretty popular here, so the people are quite armed. So far, the protesters that I've spoken to, and I've asked them about why the protests have not used firearms, they've told me that that's not the type of protest that they want. That's not the type of movement that they want. They want this to be resolved peacefully. They don't want this to turn into a civil war. It's mostly a youth movement, and while they may have guns at their disposal, they do not want to go that route. I'm getting to the point where I'm probably going to put away my large camera because it's probably getting too dark to be able to use it without a flash. Sorry. Don't worry, you're not losing me. Just readjusting a couple things here for a moment. Well, Fer, a lot of people have told me that they have AK-47s, especially in the north, and I understand you have to go through some background checks for that, but it's certainly clear that firearms are legal here. I've seen a number of firearms stores. Sorry about that, needed some water. It is pretty hot out, and I'm running around a lot. Treating myself to a cigarette. Sorry about that. And you'll notice the protesters really make a pretty heavy-handed effort to make these roadblocks move really quickly when emergency personnel need to get through. I know that there have been some accusations against them that they block ambulances, but every time I've seen an ambulance come through, everybody gets moving really quickly to allow those ambulances to pass. I've seen some people chiming in saying that Nicaragua doesn't have guns, but that seems to fly in the face of what I've been told by many Nicaraguans themselves on both sides of this issue, that it may be even true that the military, or the police rather, have attempted to disarm some people in the north. I can't confirm that, obviously, but that's something that I've been told. And I've also seen gun stores at a couple places here in Managua. But like I said, the protesters have said that that's not the type of movement that they want. People saying that AK-47s may be illegal. That's not what I was told, but I'll take the word of Nicaraguan commenters. If they're saying that they are not legal, Although I have had a couple people who identified themselves as being from the north telling me that they do have them. Whether or not those are legal, that may also be the case, that they are not legal. Things seem to have calmed down a little bit. I'm still seeing smoke rising from that building that we saw earlier. Frankly, for my own sake, if things do heat up again, after my experience from the other day, I may choose to head out. No, I'm not insinuating that anyone here is criminal. No, the students are not using weapons. Like I've said numerous times in this video and others, I have not seen any evidence of firearms amongst the protesters. I thought I may have seen a pistol earlier, but I really honestly couldn't confirm that. And as a firearms owner myself back in the United States, I think I'm pretty good at picking them out. But I honestly couldn't say whether what I saw in a guy's hand was a pistol or one of these mortar launchers, these fireworks launchers that the students are using. So I'm going to head back up to the square. It's getting dark, and I don't want to be down here by myself, but I'm just going to continue streaming. Still seeing a lot of smoke. I'm guessing the building over to my right is fully engulfed by now. And at this point, I'm going to choose to walk back towards the relative safety by the major hotels. So for now, folks, just stick with me for a little longer as I make my way back towards the Intercontinental and the Hilton. I'd be a little bit more prone to stick around if I wasn't alone right now. But given how these situations can change pretty rapidly, I'm frankly not going to put myself in that sort of danger. You can see a lot of smoke and flames over there. Seeing a lot of flames over that way. Clearly a large fire engulfing a building over there. And I hope folks at home that are watching understand that given the situation and given the fact that I am here alone, that I am going to pull out. Still seeing a lot of people gathered down on this square. Estoy lejos. So, still people saying discouraging filming, although I feel like I've pulled back pretty far. But a lot of people heading out now. I think I may start moving back again towards the hotels. So right now, somebody asked where I am. I'm here by Metrocentro in the Intercontinental Hotel, just down the street from the Hilton Princess Hotel here in Managua, Nicaragua, where just hours ago, tens of thousands of people were marching peacefully, demanding the resignation of Daniel Ortega, the president of the country. Moments, perhaps hour or so ago, kind of losing track of time, but perhaps an hour or so ago, police did open fire on the demonstrators here. There were multiple wounded and possibly some fatalities. So I have decided to start walking back and away from this area. I imagine, I had hoped that that as peaceful as the march was earlier, that there wouldn't be any clashes like this. However, since these clashes have taken place today and there have been multiple wounded, I would suspect that tonight there may be significant violence here in the city as a result of these clashes. Again, this is Ben Holmes reporting for News to Share. You can find me on Twitter at Ben Holmes Writes. That's BenHolmes Writes, WRITES, where I will be providing ongoing coverage of the unrest here in Nicaragua that began last month, April 18th, and is seeking to oust President Daniel Ortega from power. I'm walking back towards an area that is comparatively safe by the major hotels, where I will cut the stream and and call my driver and head back to the hotel where I can sum up the events of the day. Many people clearly dispersing. So a lot of emergency services personnel are here, presumably prepared to carry out wounded. We have seen multiple wounded so far. I'll be uploading a photo or a couple photos later of an apparent gunshot wound victim being carried out on a motorcycle from the clashes that I witnessed earlier, where I can confirm the sound of quite a bit of gunfire coming from the direction where I also witnessed police stationed. Yes, I did see attacks on protesters. I did witness the police in formation, followed by gunshots from that direction. They were a little bit too far away to get a good shot of it, though I did manage to get a couple long-range pictures, still images of the police in their position where the gunfire was coming from, and I did witness multiple people with apparent gunshot wounds being evacuated. I'm told that some may not have made it, may have died. And I appreciate everyone watching and tuning in today. I suspect that tonight is not going to be very good for the people of Managua or elsewhere in the country, in light of how this played out today. So I'm just walking up now to the Hilton, where presumably a lot of international press that are here, the handful that I've seen, are likely camped out. And this is where I'm going to cut the stream. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I apologize I can't get much closer, but it's just a question. I apologize, but I'm not willing to put myself quite into that situation without a buddy. If I had one or two people with me, I might be more inclined, but not going to go any farther into that by myself. So thank you again for tuning in. I'm going to be cutting the stream now. Keep an eye on News to Share on Facebook and Twitter, as well as my own Twitter, Ben Holmes Writes. For more ongoing coverage from here in Managua, I will be here until Saturday, covering what I'm able to. And thank you for tuning in.